Now it's that glorious time of the hunting season. It's November. It's time of the year we all look forward to. I mean, a lot of us look forward to October, the pre-rut, the end of October in a lot of states. But boy, when it gets in November and you still have tags, it's just a glorious time of the year to hunt. We still have some hunting left in October as we're shooting this video, so we'll see what happens. Dylan and I have some good sits together tomorrow. Great Saturday, great Sunday, but then it's game on, and it's November 1st on Monday, so can't wait. And I wanted to get this out to you pretty quick. And you know, you'll notice that some of these tips vary from month to month, because although the bottom line down here is we'll talk about some of the basics that you need to hunt and be successful. And if you follow those basics, then you'll be a successful hunter throughout the rest of your life. There's a lot you can do to tailor your strategies to each month, and that's why November is so important. I mean, November is the #1 deer hunting month, and that's when everyone hits the woods. You have gun season. People are hitting the public land the most. You know, I just want you to be successful. That's what I say in a lot of my videos. If I'm not helping you be successful, then what's the use of the channel and even making these videos in the first place? I want to help you people. I really want to help as much as I can. So #1, know the phases of the rut. This is critical. And you know, along with that, you need to know when the rut begins. There's some bad information out there. The rut's going to begin around gun season in Wisconsin, which is literally the Saturday before Thanksgiving. Folks, if you wait that long for the rut and you plan your rutcation around that time, then you're going to miss the rut. You're going to miss the hunting rut activity. And it's unfortunate. I don't want you to do that. So for one, recognize the rut happens at the same time every year. That's a good thing, because then you can have a strategy for each year instead of just throwing everything to the wind and just hoping by some chart or whatever it might be, because the rut's taking place right now as I speak. And you need to know the pre-rut, and that's when bucks are ready, does aren't necessarily, and all of a sudden it's that trickle. You have those first does coming into estrus. Bucks get really excited. Imagine that scent that's in the air. They could probably smell from a long distance away, whether it's hundreds of yards or a mile away. They can tell that rut sense in the air, and those older bucks especially get really crazed. They're making lots of rubs and scrapes. We have Venti, a buck. We've had him on like 9 or 10 cameras in Minnesota. He's all over the place. And I think if he was 5 or 6, he might be a little bit more cautious, but right now, it's almost like he's the bully in the neighborhood, and he's everywhere. And he broke a tine a month ago, I think. So he's doing something. He's pushing other bucks around. Maybe he is that bully. He seems antisocial. He's never with other deer. But that's what happens during the rut. These big bucks come out, they move a lot, and they expose themselves, and that's why it's a great time of the year to hunt. But know the phases. The pre-rut, those does are just coming in, and all of a sudden a big pile of does start to come in, and everywhere you hunt out there, there's more does than bucks. And so when that happens, then there's an exponential amount of does coming into heat. Every buck hits a doe, and that's that rut lockdown. So it happens, the pre-rut, that slams right into the rut lockdown because a lot of does, and then after that, it's that random, awesome rutcation time where those big bucks are coming off does. You're never gonna know when they're going to come off a doe and go to their next doe, looking for the next doe. It takes 2 to 3 days on average. They only breed 2 to 4 does during the primary rut on average, each buck, young bucks and old. It's not that the old bucks get to breed more than the young bucks. It's kind of all around, all over the chart. They'll find some older bucks don't breed that much. They're shy, that's why they get older. So there's a lot of complexity to that, especially when small parcels are involved. Pre-rut, rut lockdown, then we're into the peak rut. And then about 3 weeks later, 20 days later, you get into that time where it's a post-rut. Those old bucks want to find that last doe, and they're willing to travel for it, and they're willing to fight. Some of the best knockdown, drag-out fights in Wisconsin, Minnesota would take place on the 10th, the 15th of November. That would be the 20th, 25th in states like Kansas, Southern Kentucky, Central Kentucky, maybe even Southern Ohio, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia. You get a later start time for the rut. That means the rut lockdown, the peak rut, the post rut, they're all later. And then that means the secondary rut, which happens in early December, end of November on our area for about a week, takes place about 10 days later, week to 10 days later, in a lot of those areas I mentioned from Kansas over to Virginia. So know your phases, because each phase dictates a different strategy. You're hunting mornings, you're focusing on mornings during the rut. When you get towards the middle and end of the rut, bucks are in recovery mode, so they're hitting food sources a lot, following does to food sources. You're hunting bedding areas in the morning, food source in the afternoon. A lot of times that means you can't hunt in the same stand. Public land is that one exception where you go sit in a great spot between clear cuts or some type of natural food sources, in between bedding areas, natural food source. You get in that perfect X of movement. You can do that in private land too. But your phases are going to dictate what's going on. That's why we developed HuntCast on HuntWise. I developed that. That's a part of me. That's why I talk about it so much, along with my How to Hunt the Rut Whitetail web class. I hope you guys check those out. But know your phases, because that'll make you a more successful hunter, and know that it starts at the same time every year. Know that the more time you spend on the couch, the more successful you will become. The most experienced, best, consistent big buck killers don't go out every single day. Now, they might if they have a rut stand somewhere, and they just go sit on that stand, they wait for a buck to go by, they shoot a mature buck, but that's going to the same stand. If the conditions change for that one stand, a lot of times they're in big trouble, because they didn't learn anything hunting that one stand over and over and over again. So I'm talking about the people that are actually exercising patient, going in on target buck, going into a certain stand, certain buck they're expecting, and they kill consistently. If you hunt too many bad days, if you burn out your stands, if you burn out your family, your land, your boss, you're not going to have a good hunt. And that's why we came up with a video that's actually coming out this Saturday here as we're creating this video on Thursday, talking about 5 ways you can shoot more bucks from the couch. That saying that you can't shoot them from the couch has saved so many bucks and made so many tags, made so many hunters eat tag soup, save those tags each and every year, because bucks don't get shot, because people think they have to pound the woods every single day and burn their stands out, and that's just not the case. It might be if you're going from public land to public land, you're just hunting, you're hunting new spots all the time, that's a different story. But when you have to maximize your hunting locations, whether on public or private, for the entire season like most of us, then you have to be very careful, and that means spending time on the couch and only hunting when the hunting is good. Number 3, gun season stealth. What does that mean? You're not going and setting blinds up the day before gun season, let alone the middle of the rut. A lot of gun season missions November 15th. Wisconsin is the Saturday before Thanksgiving. Pennsylvania is the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, Minnesota, they have their Saturday opener, the first Saturday in November, smack dab in the rut. But if you're going out there making a lot of noise and burning things out, you're not going to run into that best buck. Your best off, so many times I've had great hunts by literally bringing a pop-up in the day of opening morning, setting it up hour and a half before daylight, letting things calm down, be quiet getting in, quiet setting it up. You're better off setting it up slow, patiently and quietly, getting into a spot. So when a buck comes by, he's not used to that being there. He doesn't have to get used to it because you have the gun out the window. And if he doesn't have to get used to it, then you're already there. You didn't set it up ahead of time to spook him. Pounding, nailing stands, putting stands out, driving on the property. So many people ruin their gun season before gun season opener even begins, before they probably even buy their tag. So exercise a little stealth. You'll probably be one of the few in the neighborhood exercising stealth for gun season, and it'll pay off big when it comes to filling your tag during gun season. No one and dones. A lot of people get into the first week of November, things are slow, they're not seeing what they'd like to see. I'm going right in the middle of the bedding area. I'm gonna go sit in the middle of that food plot, because I know I'm gonna shoot something. The problem is when you don't, you burn out your stand, you burn out your food plot, you burn out your land. It's the same on public land. You have to learn to manage your sits and be smart about your sits, always calculating. I have a good chance of shooting something here, but I also have a good chance of not spooking something the way I'm hunting, the way I'm accessing, departing, which might be 2 different routes where I'm going in at. And that's why I talk about number 5 here, go deeper. Public, private land. A lot of times it's very attractive in some of those close areas on public land where there's a lot of rubs, a lot of scrapes, but a lot of other people are looking at that same sign too. And what ends up happening, people burn it out, those bucks are going deeper. So always have a plan B and a plan C. You're going deeper in, you're following the deer movement, you're getting away from people, and you're going to find bucks. And that's no different on private land. You'll have stands that you really shouldn't use until the best time of the year. Hopefully you haven't burned out your rut stands in October. Burning them out too early, just because it's a great day doesn't mean you throw caution in the wind and go right in the middle of your bedding area stand. And even your bedding area stands, I'm always on the side of bedding area, I'm between bedding area, I'm on the downwind edge. I'm accessing around the bedding area, around food in the morning. I'm getting out when I don't see any deer. I'm not spooking deer. I'm not saying, okay, I'm gonna get out at 10. I'm saying I'm gonna get out sometime between 10 and noon. If there's no deer around me, I'll sneak out this way. I haven't seen any deer all morning. I'll try to plan my exit and entrance so I'm not spooking deer. But always thinking about, I'm not gonna go to the deepest stands in the most remote areas of the property on public or private land. First thing, thinking I have to get it done right now and burn out the land. And you know, that one and done is literal. There's so many people that practice one and done sits. I know people in Michigan, they'll hunt on the 6th of November every year, no matter what. They wait till then. They go right in the middle of their property, 30, 40 acre parcel. If they get something great, but half the time, most of the time, they don't get something, they spook deer to their neighbors, and that happens consistently. So always be patient, always be smart. Drop the gimmicks. Number 6, don't believe that something's gonna hide your scent. Then you don't have to worry about it. Just hunt smart. Don't believe if you buy this latest call or attraction that it's gonna bring every buck in the woods. Instead, hunt smart. Don't believe some type of clothing is gonna cover your scent. Instead, hunt smart. That's the bottom line. There's so many gimmicks in the hunting industry. There's so many companies that have tried to get me to represent them for some various scent contraption machine or scent cover up, scent attractant, whatever it might be, that I don't believe in, so I don't represent it. But there's a lot of people that do. That's the hunting industry way almost, unfortunately, and they're sucking your hard-earned dollars out. Instead, number 7, the basics matter. You hunt the weather, you try to get deer to avoid from seeing you, smelling you, or hearing you. So sight, sound, and scent, then you're going to have a great hunt. Those are the basics. Hunt the weather, make sure deer don't see you, hear you, or smell you, and you're gonna have a great hunt. That means on the way in and out, that means when you're in your stand, that means you're choosing the best days, that means you're choosing to stay on the couch, that means you're being stealthy in the woods, whether it's gun season or bow season, that means you're always looking for the most remote area of the property, you're trying to sneak in, sneak out, you're not having one and done sits, and really, we could have just started and ended with number 7 right here because we've gotten away from the basics, but those who follow the basics and follow it well find that they have hunting skills that they can practice and practice with success for the rest of your life. And that's what I want for you, to be successful. And it's November. Most of all, if you think about nothing else, hunt the weather, hunt the best days to hunt. Make sure the deer don't hear you, see you, or smell you. Your best form of scent control is always your stand location. You're always on the downwind edge of deer movement. You're always accessing that way. You're always sitting more bedding areas in the morning, food sources in the afternoon. You're avoiding going through food sources in the morning because you're just going to burn those out. You're going around food sources. You remember those basics, you're going to have a great November, but not only a great November, but a great September, October, December, and January for the rest of your life. Enjoy November. The time is now. Guys, have a lot of fun. I want to make sure you check out my web class video series, whether it's how to design your food plot program or how to design your property in general. And we have a new one coming out that'll be how to hunt the rut. But these bucks back here are a testament. Some of these bucks go back to 93. They're even in different states. I urge you to check out those web classes so that you can help yourself, help your land, help your hunt. The link is in the description. And also for those that have tried them out, I encourage you to offer some feedback in the comments below. Thank you.